Effort is a two-way street and you need to know when to make a detour. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Soy Simone. Welcome back to Simone Unfiltered. And if you're new here, mucho gusto. That is a result of almost 3 weeks practice of Spanish on Duolingo. I think I'm doing pretty good. Anyways, by the title of this video, as you guys can see, I'm going to be talking about the nature of effort and what it means to give effort, not just in relationships like romantically, but also in friendships as well. I'm going to start with a story time. So, this happened around the last month of high school. So time for graduation and prom. Everybody was getting ready for prom, trying to find prom dates and everything. Um, my friend group included. So they had paired me together with this person, and they themselves, they were finding their own dates and whatnot. So we all went to prom. We all had a great time and whatnot. After prom, though, things started to get, I guess, a bit more serious, and I put that heavily in quotations because relationships in high school, I don't think they're ever to be taken seriously, to be honest. But in my circumstance and in my friend group circumstances, the prom dates were becoming like more of like a boyfriend girlfriend type of thing. And the girl code when you get into relationships with a guy, you got to remember your girl is there too. Your friend is going to be there if something happens with you and this guy. You're going to come running back. And I always felt like I was always like the second option or the plan B whenever it came to, me and my friend when, they had, got their boyfriend. Um, I always felt like, whenever I would text them, like I would always be ignored. There was always like excuses or yeah, like I'm hanging out with my boyfriend. And I realized that it was becoming, a problem. Aside from relationships, I also had another friend group in which it was me and two other individuals. And I don't know if it's the rule of threes. For sure there's the two people talking shit about you in another group chat. Not to say that they were doing that, but I'm just saying, like, the energy started to get really off. I always felt left out. I felt excluded. I felt like I did not fit into what they were talking about because they always had like similarities, but me, like, it was just weird, right? So towards the end of the school year, things just started to get a bit rocky, and I felt like I had to put more into, these friendships and even into the relationship itself. But no matter how much I tried, I always felt like it was one sided, friendship or relationship. I was always the one to text first. I was always the one to call. I was always the one to set up plans. And I felt like these people did not want to have anything to do with me anymore. So I said one day, you know what? I'm not going to text you anymore, and that's it. And since I did that, it's been about probably 5, 6 months since we last talked. And damn right, I was right. It was one sided, and you know, it was sad at first, but I got used to it, and I just realized that it was bound to happen. Sometimes you genuinely just have to outgrow people in order to move on to different parts of life, to know that these people are not in alignment with your life path anymore. If you believe in that stuff, they're not supposed to be in this part of your life anymore. They were there for maybe that period in high school, and now you're a young adult. You need to find new people, right? So at first it was kind of sad, but now I'm happy because I realized that you're not supposed to be in my life. So clearly that's something good, and I know something better is supposed to be coming. Another thing that I struggled with a lot was just the expectations that I had, specifically relationship wise. So now that I've kind of talked about like the friendship wise and, kind of knowing when to leave, if you feel like it's one sided, take a break. Don't text them. for a couple days or weeks, and that'll be your answer. Your closure is them not texting you for those weeks or months. That's it, right? So that's when you need to know when to leave. But moving towards, my girlies with the relationships. Um One of the things that I struggled with was expectations. And this is a big thing. And I think that it's so important to remember, no matter what or who comes into your life, you need to remember that you yourself were an entire person, an entire being with likes and dislikes, and you had a personality before, during, and you will when this person leaves. And I struggled a lot with having just expectations for this person that I was dating, and how they're gonna be, how they're gonna treat me, the gifts that they were gonna buy me, take me out, go on dates. And when they did not fulfill that, I thought that there was something wrong with me, right? um when they say love is blind, I'm not saying love, but just like to generalize this entire conversation, when they say love is blind, love is truly blind. Because I remember doing things for that person, like getting them gifts and whatnot, and they would be like, yeah, no, no, I don't want it, I'll come pick it up after, I'll come to your house, pick it up later. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay. And then when I look back, I'm like, you never really wanted that gift to begin with. But because I was so like in like this honeymoon phase, and so like struck with affection and emotion, I didn't realize that. So that's what they say when love is blind. But the expectations that I had and the fantasies, a lot of girls, they love to like create these fantasies in their head, to daydream about this guy that they started dating and start like thinking about marriage and all those things. And it's like, you need to keep your expectations at an all-time low. And I mean, like, I'm I'm surprised you even like said hello to me. That's how low you need to keep your expectations because you play a part in your suffering. That's another thing. You play a part in your suffering. You need to stop playing the victim and stop blaming these people. Oh yeah, they hurt me, they broke up with me, they did this and that. But it's your fault because you held them to an expectation that they could not reach. When you look at yourself in the mirror, can you reach those expectations that you set for another person? No. So who are you to set them for somebody else and expect them to reach that when you yourself can't even reach it? Does that make any sense? At the end of the day, we're humans, we're all flawed. We make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, okay? Like, this is not a Wattpad story. So you need to get to reality, okay? Like, males these days, they're not Wattpad men. They're not from Wattpad. So you need to get out of that headspace and you need to start getting into reality, right? Stop setting expectations, stop setting fantasies, because you're going to be disappointed when that person doesn't reach it. And you're going to think that there's something wrong with you, that you did not do enough, when certainly you are only hurting yourself. So you need to take a step back into reality and really start to focus on where it is that you are the problem in your own problems, because sometimes you are. Whatever it is that you believe in, or if you don't believe in any other higher power, higher source, God, the universe, you need to just trust that they will bring new people into your life. Don't settle for less. Do not stay with that guy who's not treating you right just because you have nobody else. Do not stay with those friends if they're not including you or anything. If you feel like you have to always put in the effort, know your worth. Know what it is that you deserve. You do not deserve anything less than. That doesn't mean that you set your expectations sky high, but you just stay realistic and know that you deserve better. There are people who will get into relationships just because they are scared of being alone, or because they cannot deal with their thoughts for 1 second of the day. And it's sad. And, you know, I'm not here to criticize anybody for that, because me personally, I've never done that, but I know people who do that. And it's really sad, and I really hope that from this video you'll be able to reflect on that, and you'll be able to just create, a space where you can make time for you and your mental health. I think the loneliness period is something that every person needs to go through, and self reflection, going no contact with everybody unless it's family, and like unless it's like super important, but like friends, from school or from work, or even take a break from social media. I've taken so many social media breaks in the past. The point is, the loneliness period is something I think every human being needs to go through in order to really reflect and really find out some things about you. It's time that we all start to take some time to ourselves and really figure out who it is that we are. And it's not something that's going to be overnight. You're not just like, oh, now I know everything, I can just do whatever. No, figuring out who you are and discovering what it is, like, you are a human being. Human beings are constantly changing, constantly evolving. So the self-discovery journey never ends. When you hear those people online like, yeah, I discovered who I was in 2012 and from then it's just been amazing. No, it's a lifelong journey, and I think it's something that everybody needs to go through. It's not a magic pill. It's not overnight. It takes time. Even me, myself, I'm discovering new things about myself every day. Another thing, and this is the last thing, I know I've been talking for a lot. There's this account on Instagram called We the Urban, and this is not sponsored or anything. I'm just saying this simply because a lot of their posts inspire me. So I'm gonna put like one right here. Um, I really like this quote. And We the Urban, like every time I just see it on my Instagram feed, like I just get really inspired. I get reminded of who I am, and what it is that I am standing for, and my beliefs and everything like that. Another thing too, you need to really be mindful of the people who you follow online and what it is that you are digesting every day. If you're constantly digesting negative media, then you're going to feel negative. If you are constantly digesting people who you are comparing yourself to, you're going to feel like you're going to compare yourself all the time. You need to go through your following list, unfollow people who are not inspiring, are not lifting you up, who you're constantly comparing yourself to. Follow these accounts where they have these, inspirational quotes. It's not cringe, it's beautiful. It's changed my life, and it can change yours too. Follow these inspirational people, man. Like, just do it. Like, be hopeful. Like, sadness and depression is not cute, it's not an aesthetic, and it's something that everybody has gone through at one point, or will go through at some point in their life. um it's time for us to be happy. Like, we deserve to be happy. We deserve to be with people who make us happy, and not have to feel like we're putting effort into dead end relationships. So I hope from this video, from the tips, the pointers, from what I've learned, that you know when to walk away. Don't stay with somebody just because it feels good. I know my worth. I know that I deserve better. I stopped texting those people, and we never spoke again. And it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. Because when I look back, I don't think I would even be here online talking if I was still friends with people. Because sometimes people in your life, when you tell them new things that you want to do, they will talk you down. They will try and, spew negativity in you, and try to be like, oh, don't do that, that's cringe, blah blah blah. It's 2024, and if you still think cringe is a thing, I don't know what to say. But you will never do what it is that you want to do, and you are never going to be able to love or enjoy the things you want to do because you think everything is cringe. But no, if I was still hanging out with those people, I would not be who I was today. That's just the part people play in your life. Every encounter that comes to your life shapes you into the person. So I am thankful for those people, because they've kind of shaped me into who I am today. People are bullshitting me, you're out. That's as simple as that. Especially in 2024, we got lots of things to do. If you're bullshitting me, done, done. There's no way you're stressing me out on my cellular device. That's insanity. But anyways, Effort is a two-way street. Know when to make a detour. Thank you so much for listening. This is one person watching this. Thank you so much. Toodles. Oh, adios. Buenos noches, mi amigos. See ya. I gotta work on my Spanish for sure.